Your background.
I'm in a West Hill mansion.
You are in the Getty Villa. That's what it looks like.
We want everything galore, not just evil galore. So salutations, salutations. We are bike. I'm with the co-host is with the Moses, Shayon the Jam. This is episode 41. We're back and better than ever. Like Jordan, I'm back. We're back. We bike. How you doing, good sir?
Yo, I'm doing good. Or like Jordan without the gambling addiction. That's just who we are.
Yeah, we're Jordan with no vices. So
Yeah. We're like
um
Jordan except we don't even need help. We can do it by ourselves.
we're Jordan and we don't even need a ball to shoot. You know what I mean? We don't even need a ball. We just shoot it. So we can score without the ball.
Yeah,
Off ball, setting screens, running around. We're that good. We're different, built different. So
exactly.
talking about where I'm my background, this is a disclosed location. What's going on with your background? Tell me about it. What's going on here? Are we having a
Not
quinceañera?
that there's a lot of things in the background, there's a lot of items.
There's a lot of items. Okay, I see what you're going with. I see like paint. I see like a birthday little thing you hang up on the wall. Someone's
Yeah,
drawings.
everything's scattered. We're playing positionless basketball. Just
Okay,
shoot.
I can see that. So to move in, we have a lot of things to discuss. We may not have a lot of time, but who knows? To start off with the first topic of the day, let's get into it, man. Sports. So since the last time we talked about LeBron winning the championship. LeBron and AD winning the championship. A lot of things has happened, such as a full regular season has gone since the last time we spoke. It's as a Lakers fan, you being a diehard Lakers fan,
Yeah.
it's very sad to see how LeBron and the boys, the Lakers, went out in the first round. This is the first time LeBron has ever been bounced in the first round. The way I see it is age, health wasn't the best. Like you can't. This isn't LeBron first year, and this is LeBron 18 years in.
Right.
How do you feel about that? Like, how do you feel about the slander
I
and the
think age is
criticism?
a factor, but not only age, but also the fact that he's getting older,
Right.
and combined with the injury he had, it was an ankle injury. Did I expect LeBron to be 2018 LeBron? No, because I just don't think that he's at that level anymore. But let's not forget, starting into the season before he dealt with that injury, he was the MVP
Yeah.
for the MVP talk. So I'm not gonna sit here and act like he fell off. I mean, in the finals, not even a year ago, like 9 months ago, in the finals, he averaged like 30 a game. So it doesn't help that AD goes down, but got to give credit to the Suns. I mean, if the Lakers were gonna lose to a team, at least it's a team that's gonna go to the finals and have a good chance at winning it all.
Yeah, the Suns have been on a very good streak. Not in terms of winning, but and not to be salty, but with just luck. No 80 LeBron, second round. Who they faced? Utah.
Yeah.
They faced Utah. Utah had a really good year. Number one in the West,
Oh, they
but I
played
don't.
Denver actually.
Denver. Okay, they played Denver. Oh, Clippers beat the Jazz.
Yeah,
So
the same. Just some white people sitting like.
pretty much, what's the difference? Altitude. Can't even breathe in Denver, right? Um, yeah, with Denver not having Jamal Murray, I mean, to not discredit Denver, you have the MVP, Nikola Jokic, the Joker. You got Aaron Gordon. You have what's his face? Uh, the coach's son. Like you got players, you got fast players, you got shooters. You got really good players that together are good, and individually may not be the best, but as a team, really solid, really fast paced. It's sad to see so many injuries happen in the course of this year. Not to use it as an excuse, and not to use it to excuse LeBron's not just performance but his behavior. But the start of the season so quickly from the bubble, it wasn't enough time for the Lakers, it wasn't enough time for the Heat, and it wasn't enough time for the people that were participating in the bubble and in the playoffs. Like it was the shortest start or restart to a season ever in like sports history, baseball, football, everything that included. And it's cool. It's really cool to see still like LeBron started the season until he got injured, play at an elite level. Like it wasn't like this wasn't a self-inflicted injury. This was someone, and I'm kind of got past it, but Solomon Hill reaching for the ball and he injured LeBron. I don't believe it was malicious. I don't believe he had any intentions. But this wasn't like a self-inflicted injury, as if like LeBron doesn't know how to dunk or land or move his feet. Like this was an injury that just happened to him because of another player. And if you take that injury away, you're not getting bounced in the first round. Even with AD not playing so good, a full good healthy LeBron, you're not beating that.
Even within the series, when I think the Lakers went up 2-1 and
Mm.
AD was healthy at that time, everyone was calling it like Lakers in five,
Right.
you know, and then boom, he goes down.
Yeah, it was deflating. It was just seeing LeBron's movement, just like just his head being down, this, like I'm ready to get pulled out. It was just like you're the leader. And you and I, we work similar jobs and we work around kids, and my job description or my job title is leader. I'm in control of the day-to-day operations with what happens to the kids. I'm telling the adults that are with me what they're doing to set up the activities and things. If they see the leader on the phone, playing Among Us, not giving them the attention, they're not going to be as engaged or not going to be as involved as they should because I'm not involved. I'm not engaging. I'm what initiates the offense. If I'm telling one kid, yo, you need to do this, if I'm not doing my job, who am I to tell someone else to do something that I want them to do?
Yeah, his facial expressions, his attitude was it was annoying to see because it's not just about being a leader for your team, but it's about being a leader for the next generation. And unfortunately, that's a bad image that he paints. Um, but at the end of the day, I think LeBron is a great professional. So I'm not gonna just shatter his entire image, but that was definitely that was concerning.
Definitely concerning. And, you know, I hate to even talk about it, but I don't think anyone like Kobe would ever have that type of mood or attitude on the court. I wouldn't see Jordan do it either. It's just like maybe it's something more than what he's been letting on. Maybe I mean, we've had this conversation before with LeBron. I mean, he's been doing this since a kid. And for him to continue to play and just have so much excitement for, the regular season and excitement for the playoffs, like he still has that hunger. So after not even just 18 years of professional basketball, but pretty much his entire life. Like that's hard. That's imagine doing something like that or doing a job for the rest of your life. That's not easy to do. I would get bored. Literally, I would just, you know what, my time's up. I'm done. You
Especially
know,
when you've done it all.
especially when you've done it all. MVPs, finals MVPs, like you winning championships. You don't have to win every accolade or award. He didn't go to college. He couldn't win a college chip.
Exactly. I
But
think his legacy is already like cemented at this point. Like any extra ring he wins, it's just a little cherry on top. But I think after that ring in 2016 with
yeah,
Cleveland, I think that was cemented. Of course, the Lakers winning and him getting his fourth, that was big. The fact that he did a Finals MVP on three different teams.
yeah.
I think after 2016 is what really cemented it, and then everything else is just like little add-ons.
To come back 3-1 from a 73-9 win team, yeah, that definitely cemented it. If it wasn't already, to talk about more, except for LeBron, more about basketball. To see talk more about the injuries. Like we got Jamal Murray, Kyrie Irving, James Harden. We have Kawhi Leonard now. We don't just have like regular players. We had Spencer Dinwiddie. Like we don't just have regular players injured. We have Hall of Famers injured, and with the Bucks and the Hawks playing in the Eastern Conference, with the Suns and the Clippers playing in the Western Conference Finals, whoever wins this championship, is it going to be looked as an asterisk? Because they tried to asterisk the 2019 Raptors win because they say no KD, no Clay, and then they are so hell bent on asterisk the 2020 one because it's the bubble, Mickey ring, LaMickey, and all that. Do you think it's going to be the same because of the lack of presence with Hall of Famers so deep in the playoffs?
I think that that whole asterisk talk is mostly just NBA Twitter.
Okay.
At the end of the day, like maybe the bubble, I guess, but a ring is a ring. Definitely. I mean, look, injuries are part of the sport.
Yeah.
Ron didn't have Kyrie and Kevin Love in 2015. Obviously, 2019 with KD out. Injuries are that's just part of it. That's just how it works.
I mean, definitely just how it works. And I don't think it's fair to not give credit where credit is due because you can go down, you can still lose with the best player on the opposing team out. Like you still have a job to get done. It may be easier, but it's still a job that needs to be done, you know? And so whoever does win this championship, we're gonna be watching it. I'm excited. I got my money on I want to see Suns and Hawks. Two young teams with two great young players, D Book and Trey Young. They let it go from the clip, from the parking lot. They want that dip and the chip. No anything else. They want that chip and the dip. That's about it. And with CP3 winning the ring for his first ring, that's a great story.
I think it's pretty wide open. If I had to pick, I would have to go with the Bucks. I just think they have the most talent. This is their best opportunity to get it done. They don't have to play LeBron. If they don't win this year, I don't see them winning with Giannis ever. Like
Yeah.
at
I mean,
least
we talking about Damian Lillard getting traded or requesting a trade. We're talking about Ben Simmons, him bouncing
oh
the
yeah, we
Lakers.
talk about Ben Simmons a little.
Yeah, like
Ben
it's
Simmons, I don't know, man. What do you have? What's your opinion on Ben Simmons right now? What's his
um
value? But not only what's his value, how do you assess his worth?
the more I say it, the less I like it. Ben Simmons, you made a great point before about Shannon Sharp when he was responding to someone saying that Ben Simmons would be like a LeBron esque because the physicality, the point guard, the leadership, and things like that. And you've yet to see it. You've yet to see it. Maybe in certain instances or spurts, he can really have a good game or a good series, but there's obviously a mental block that's keeping him from accelerating or succeeding in the playoffs, going further. Until he gets that attitude as I'm the leader, I'm the one that's going to be shooting it, you're not going to be successful. You know, I think,
You had Doc Rivers say it himself. He didn't know if Ben Simmons is a point guard on a championship level team.
yeah.
At the end of the day, have a it's hard to have a championship level team where your star player can't shoot. It's just rare where we see that.
Hmm.
You know, um, it's mostly a mental block, I would say, for Ben Simmons because we see videos in the off season. He loves shooting, and his form is actually pretty good. That's the thing that's like funny to me
Crazy.
when I see videos of him shooting, or not even just in the off season, like before games on the court. Like he has a good form. Now, obviously, having a good form isn't all you need. You need repetition to refine it. But
Technique,
yeah,
repetition, like you said, need to get in the gym, get enough that muscle. You
but
got to be able to,
it's not even shooting at this point because he was passing up dunks.
yeah, yeah,
It's a really severe
yeah.
mental break.
Mm. And it's crazy to see how good of a player he is or that he can be. And things like, dunking is a problem. Things of scoring. I don't know. I can't really wrap my head around it. All I can say is, much love to Ben Simmons. Prayers to Ben Simmons and all the NBA players, that's still recovering from not only health wise, physical health wise, but that bubble was an easy thing to go through, you know. And somehow Adam Silver was able to feed us great NBA playoffs, great NBA games, and it's tough, Us, our enjoyment, our entertainment was at the cost of other people's mental health. Paul George made a good point about it. Other players discussed it. It was at the cost of other people's health and well being. And I don't think that should ever be taken for granted. That's why I don't look at the ring that was won in Orlando as such a asterisk, because it don't matter how good your player you are, like LeBron, or how not good of a player you are. Like, you were sacrificing a lot. Of course they get paid a lot of money to play basketball. But, if you were playing basketball in, Golden State, Cali, food, business, everything like that, and then you had to go play in Russia or North Korea, yeah, you're doing what you love to do, but in the circumstances and the environment that you're doing it in is going to affect you because they're not used to it, no matter how successful you are. That's just a human behavior thing, not oh, I'm rich, you should deal with it, you know. But much love to them, to all of the NFL players, all sports entertainers. I mean, we're getting a lot of good music out. Cole, Tyler the Creator. We've had a lot of good music that come out. Meg's coming back. Meg is back from her hiatus. Jasmine Sullivan's came. She dropped a Lucy not just too long ago. Drake is on the way. You
Well,
know,
Drake,
load up the Drake. We're making them pay. So we got a lot of good music that um Migos on the way. Migos just dropped, Culture 3, which I'm in love with. So a lot of good art and entertainment is being made and being delivered, sealed, and shipped despite the pandemic and after or through the pandemic. And it's not easy. Definitely for even young artists. You're talking about people that's not signed, you're talking about people that are grinding, starving to be great, you know. What are your opinions on, to get into music though? I mean, we've had some heavy hitters like Cole, Tyler the Creator is great, Jasmine Sullivan, Mag is on the way, Culture 3, really great album. What are your feelings on the landscape of music in 2021?
I think the landscape of music is in a good place. It's pretty calm. Cole released an album. None of the no Drake album yet. So no Kendrick. No, none of the major heavy hitters. Although I would say Cole is a heavy hitter, so you could count him. I enjoyed the Cole album. I like the fact that it was 13 songs, I believe, something in the short range of songs,
Yeah.
which is good because a lot of artists are releasing like 20 song albums and then their deluxe is seven more.
Right.
Quality over quantity.
I mean, to look at it like this, when you said short range album for Cole, it's kind of like NBA. It's kind of like the NBA in regards of, the mid range is good. It's easy buckets right there. Mid range is still a valuable, asset in the NBA to, shoot from. But everyone's saying, oh, if you can shoot from this mid range, you can shoot just 2 feet back in the three, but not everyone can shoot threes. You can be a great team. The Lakers are a great team when healthy, but they're not a great 3-point shooting team. They're not really a good shooting team at all.
Right. You either live or die by the three. When they're
Yeah.
going in, nice.
It's a
But when
make
we
it's a
saw what
make and
happened,
miss league. Yeah, it's a make and miss league, and sometimes you can live with it, but sometimes, you're gonna die by it too. Like you said. I feel like, with Cole, he was an artist like Drake that was supposed to drop last year. Kendrick has just been nothing but rumors, about dropping. I feel like we've gone so long. I mean, Drake did drop a Dark Lane demo tapes, just Lucy's or whatnot. Cole dropped the off season. I feel like Cole may still have some more, because I thought the fall off was gonna be what we supposed to get. I felt like the off season was just warm up. He may have something bigger, something better, if that's even possible. I don't really know. But I'm looking at 2021. Outside is starting to open up. L.A. is starting to open up. New York, Miami. Well, they never really closed. Houston's never, Texas never closed. Georgia never closed. They open for business. But with everyone starting to, America starting to open up as a total or as a whole, with the amount of music that's yet to be delivered by the heavy hitters, I mean, goodness, it's gonna be great. You
Concerts
know,
also starting to open back up. Like big events already announced for the months of like August. The later parts of the year. You know,
mm-hmm.
so yeah,
But
I think it just commercially speaking, it's smart for a lot of artists to save their best work for now because they can do world tours. I know the Weekend announced a world tour, but that's in 2022.
yeah,
So
I was just about to talk about the weekend. He had a great album.
he had a great
He-
year. I think during the pandemic, I'd say he was just the artist of the pandemic. If we're giving an unofficial award, I mean,
yeah.
you can't say he's not. Super Bowl
Mm-hmm.
halftime show, I really liked it. Great album he released.
What do you have to say? Just to get off the entertainment talk. First of all, to speak on Cheyenne and I, much love and condolences to the family and to the loss of George Floyd. To have seen a a police officer and a public servant do something so inhumane as to knee on someone's neck for over 9 minutes was disgusting, was cruel, and was, like I said before, inhumane. I would like to say justice was served a few days ago because justice was served a few days ago. Did the sentencing feel underwhelming? Yes, yes, it did. 22 years. 22 years for taking someone's life. I wouldn't have mind life. Life would have been nice. It would have been more appreciated because you took someone's life, despite everything, despite his past. Don't his No one's past means anything because that's not who he is in that moment. You know, that was not who he was in that moment. And to see not just it wasn't just one person, it was other police officers that could have stepped up, that could have said something, that could have done something to
Well, by the
prevent.
should not be left off the hook. They need to
They
be.
need to.
Well, I don't know. I don't know any updates about their cases, but I hope
Mhm.
that there is some consequences.
They did not physically kill that man, but they were in a position to save or prevent a life being lost and did nothing about it.
Right. They were in actual positions of authority.
Hmm. That's like having the ability to save someone and not doing it, which is just as worse. That's I look at it as worse as actually killing someone. To have the ability to save someone and you don't, it's tragic. It's a tragedy, you
Right.
know. But to have gotten a sentencing, to have gotten justice being served, because if this was the 1960s, 1950s, 1970s, that person would have been off the hook. That person would have gotten, what that person would have gotten? A thank you,
Yeah.
a handshake, a promotion. That's what he fucking got.
That's what I was about to say. You know, thankfully to the girl who recorded that,
Oh
took
my
her
goodness.
iPhone.
Oh my goodness. We talk about a lot of, we talk, we, not we as in specifically, but people talk about, and I kind of agree with this sometimes about recording, but like you don't do anything else. Thank God that lady recorded what was happening. Because
Right.
if we didn't have that, ain't no telling what have happened. Ain't no telling. Think about it like this. Police officers are wearing body cams, and we're still having these problems. Body cams. They have the ability to take them off, turn them off and on. No, because what's the point of having them, having to, be mandatory to wear them, but they have the option to take them off and on. Ain't no telling what can happen when they tell them turn them off or take them off. That's 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 just no. You can't do that. Keep them on 24/7. Keep them accountable. You know.
Yeah. The girl recording, that was right. Like you were saying earlier, he would have been left off the hook if we didn't have that recording. And unfortunately, as much as the recording helped as in the process of sentencing Derek Chauvin, the unfortunate part is that his family had to watch that and have the whole world watch that. And no settlement. I know there was a settlement reached where they had, I believe, $20 million went to the family. No money makes up for that trauma. Period. No money makes up for that.
Not at all. No amount of money can, you know, get back a life. You know, no amount of money can do that. I mean, that's literally like the bare minimum. And the mother of the killer would even recognize or acknowledge George Floyd. You know, and that's just like they always try to paint him as, oh, he's such a, they're such a good kid. They would never do something like that. Well, guess what? They did it. They did it. So how good are they really? They're good to you. That's the thing. I'm a good friend to you. That doesn't make me a good person. I'm a good friend to Jose, Hosea, Jesselyn, everybody else, but that doesn't make me a good person at the end of the day. You know them to be a good person because you can only see them as a good person. Rarely you hear a mother talk bad about their son. Rarely, you know. Even through the bad stuff, they're gonna still see their kid as just Mr. Perfect. You know, it is just incredibly sad that it's taken this long for justice like this to be, handled or handed. But I'm still appreciative and I'm thankful that we're getting one step closer, one step closer, one day at a time. If it's is that what it takes, that's what it takes. Or a decade at a time, I still take it. But the landscape of the world. We have a new president. You know, we have our 46th president, Joe Biden. Um, you know more about this area, or you would know more about it because you are a political science major. What do you have to say about give him a rating from 1 to 10? The approval ratings for presidents. Like, what do you see him doing? What do you hear about or know about him doing that is beneficial to America? That's beneficial to Black people, disenfranchised people. You know, what do you have to say?
I haven't been too. I haven't been following too close to his presidency. I know. I will say, regarding the Asian hate, he did pass the Asian hate bill, um, addressing that community. No bill addressing African Americans, which is unfortunate, but I'm not surprised. And I will say it is. with when we had President Trump, almost every, if you notice on Twitter these days or social media, Joe Biden is rarely trending. When we had Trump, it was every day something new, or maybe not every day something new, but everything he did was criticized, which is good. But I think that energy needs to be carried towards this president because
Right.
at the same time, I kind of don't like the fact that I'm not hearing about him. Like, I want to, you are the leader of the country. You should be criticized, and
Yeah.
it's not criticized because I have anything against you as a person. It's constructive
Hmm.
criticism. So, but overall, I
Right.
haven't been following too close. I don't know. What is he, like 8 months in? No, he started in
Something
January,
like that. Since January,
6,
so
7.
maybe six. Yeah,
Um,
close to six,
yeah,
7. Is is the media is the is the media trying to let Joe Biden be a Kawhi Leonard? He's too quiet, he's to himself. He doesn't really talk much. Are they letting him get off the hook? No accountability
that's
whatsoever.
an interesting take,
Just,
actually.
you know, you know what I'm saying? He's a cyborg. He's Mr. Dementia. But like with Trump, rightfully should have been criticized and put in the fire. But yeah, don't he own like a golf course or something? Don't he own like he don't doesn't he do so? I want to know he can have some fun. Like, like Obama, he was cool, he was fun. Michelle was bad. You know what I mean? Like, let me know you got some type of like coolness in you.
Yeah,
Don't just,
Michelle,
you know.
like he didn't even say
Yeah, shout out to
just
Michelle.
bad.
Yeah, too bad. But you get what I'm saying? Like Trump, he's a POS and a dirt bag and all of that, and he should be rightfully put in the fire. We have no disagreements on that. But what is Joe Biden up to these days? What is he doing? I don't know. I want to know what he's doing online. I want to see what he's doing. I want to see people reacting to him, good or bad. If you can have someone react to you in a good, like I said, good or bad, just so many people reacting to you, now you're doing something. You're doing something. I want to know what you are doing that is getting people engaged. You know, that's what a leader does. Like a leader can get people engaged, involved, you know.
Right.
But
It's
much love and prayers to our world leaders, our public servants, our teachers, firefighters, our police officers. I understand the hate and everything we have against police officers, but um we still need them in the best mental health to do their job.
right.
Our pastors, our priests, you know.
Yeah. Also, of course, the first responders helpful during the pandemic. Um, we got him through it. I didn't expect it to be this fast that we would have gotten through the pandemic. Um, how long has it been? It's been a year and a half. I was surprised. I was kind of expecting this thing to go for like 3 to 4 years. Especially, I was not expecting for us to be allowed to not wear masks, like be able to, because now in California, if you're vaccinated, you have the right to not wear a mask anymore. And I did not expect it to come that fast, but I will say, thanks to all the nurses, doctors, they've been pushing through for us. They've been the real MVPs of this.
Okay. Okay, we bike. A good point that you made up, a good proposition, good topic that you brought up in our debate is the off season. Not the Cole album, not the NBA off season, NFL off season. Shout out to Tom Brady, make NFL great again. But our off season, our break. We had our last episode together on December 20th, 2020. Now, that was a very very tensioned between you and I. We had a lot of tension. But I mean, damn, we had a lot of tension since then. contract negotiations and things like that. But we use this time off to rest ourselves, to put ourselves in better positions to be successful. If you see the area is not the same as what you've seen before, we both had time to really get ourselves right, get ourselves better, whether it be physically, mentally, emotionally, all of the above. You know, I've been using this time off to get the hunger again, to be able to miss podcasting, to be able to miss podcasting, to miss our breaks and what we're doing and how we should go, like the pregame warm up, the pregame, you know, um, coaching meetings and shit like that. Like I miss that, And for me, we were so consistent every week, through being tired with work. Me, I would work from 7 at night to 4 in the morning. Now that doesn't even mean I'm going to sleep at 4. That means I'm getting home at 4, sometimes 5 if I get a breakfast or something like that on the way. And so with me during that time, it was I was just exhausted physically. I was in a confusing relationship at that time, you know, with someone, and they're great, they're great, no shade to them.
but they were
Uh
beneficial.
what happened?
They were great, but they weren't beneficial.
You know what? I'm gonna let you say that. They might see this somehow. I don't know. I don't want them to be mad at me, but you have opinions. You have good opinions. I'll say that. Um, and then fast forward to maybe February. Yeah, February. I get myself in another relationship, a more official relationship, and that's I'm having the time of my life. We're still on break. We're still on a podcast hiatus, and I'm going seeing this person, and then March comes around, and then work gets a bit confusing as well. And then I moved from where I was in mid city to downtown LA in the first week of April, around April 9th or 8th. And we're talking about still no podcast, no work. I'm off work. I'm not working there no more. I moved to a entirely different, part of the city. And then, you know, um, relationship is there's tension, turmoil in the relationship, confusion, hurt, pain. So that's exhausting. That's very exhausting. We've talked about this, numerous times. Emotional currency. How much can you take? How much can you pay to be happy, to get through this, turmoil, this confusing phase? And I guess it was, it's one of those things where when you're putting in, with me, I've faced adversity. You know, I've faced adversity a few times here and there, maybe once in a while, sprinkle in a little bit of spiciness and shit. But I guess it was like something new that I was never privy to or never experienced in a relationship like that before. And it was like, you know what? I'm gonna do my best to put this thing back together, pick up the pieces. But it was just a endless breakage, you know, and not having a good source of income, not having good stability. It further driven me to more isolation than it did to camaraderie, to being with that person. And then at the same time, there's just things you don't say. There's just things you don't bring up. There's just things that you don't tell someone like that. And so
I've
that
learned
happened.
I've learned that the hard way.
Yeah. Yeah, you did. And so that happened around April, Mayish. And then, here it is June. you know, trying to get back together. You know, the ladies and gentlemen, today is June 27th, Sunday, June 27th. I have a birthday that's coming up this upcoming Tuesday, June 29th. My brother that you'll see right here has a birthday that is coming up on June 30th. And so we're definitely having a well, what are we gonna do for our birthdays? I I want to go to a baseball game. I want to go to a Dodgers game. I want to go to a Dodgers game. You know, either a Dodgers game or out to eat. I
Hot
want
out
to
to
feel
maybe
good.
out to eat one.
What do you say?
The out to eat one sounds good.
The out to eat one sounds a bit like a plan. I was talking to a friend of mine. I was talking to a friend of mine. I'm like, I don't really celebrate my birthday. I never had a party. I never like, you know what I mean? I'm not really big on like the attention and the like, I'm not really big on that. But I started reminiscing, what did I go through last year to get here? We're talking about moving in the pandemic by myself. I made my first $1,000 check. Before that, before October, I quit my job that I had since December 2019, that July. So from December 2019 to July 2020, I had that job. I quit that job, not knowing that just a few days later, I would get a phone call. Yo, we want to have an interview. All right, this is the day. Okay, got that interview. In the same in the interview, yo, we have the job. We want to offer it to you. This much. Whoa. I've never had a job that made double digits before. Never. And how I got here, we talked about how I got here before. Unlimited overtime, all that. Made my first $1,000 check. Paid the deposit and everything like that. Paying for the food, paying for everything. The second week that I'm there, I get that job that I no longer work for. And it was just a lot of things that were in succession without taking much time. A lot of good things in my favor. And then, okay, this thing happened. Okay, no more work here. This thing happened. Okay, I gotta move. COVID's hitting big. Too many people. I gotta move. I gotta find something more to me. You know. And then relationship. Okay, that's out the way. All these things happening in this month, this month, and this month. Okay, I got a great job. Right now, I got the best job I ever had. You know, I'm having some luck with some people, talking to some people, with business, with modeling, with things I want to really pursue that I'm pursuing right now. And so it's just giving me I just had time to really think about like, damn, I deserve to celebrate. I deserve to feel happy about my birthday. And so I'm hoping, God willing, go out to eat to a good spot and have a good time.
What's your opinion on In and Out? You liked it, huh? You like In and Out?
So, you know, I'm a very simple man. Oh, yesterday, speaking of In and Out,
Sorry to interrupt you, but when when you make your assessment of interview, well, I mean not the interview of In and Out. When you make your assessment of In and Out, you need to tell me if it was tasteful or if it had flavor.
okay. Um, so yesterday I go to church to a friend. I used to go to when I used to live here the first time in Cali from 2015 to 2017. I went to a church called Shepherd Church up in Porter Ranch. Now, I live a good 30 minutes away from Porter Ranch driving. He, my friend, he was going to pick me up and we're going to go together. We were late. No one's fault. I didn't know the time. I didn't remember the time. So it starts at 6 and ends at 7. We got there at 7. So it was, we were pretty much in and out at the church too. So we were in and out, but I met Dusty. I talked to Dusty. I talked to Jeff, some good friends that I remember from my heyday back then. So I'm like, damn. I'm a little hungry, you know. In and Out's right across the corner. From what I remember, it could have been something different. They could have relocated. I don't know. But In and Out's there. I'm a very simple man, and I'm like, cheeseburger, double cheeseburger, whatever. So I get a double cheeseburger animal style with fries. I got my fries well done because well done can be really good sometimes, ketchup and everything. With a lemonade. My friend got a strawberry milkshake. So we're chilling. And the sandwich was good. The burger was good. The burger was good. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this was really good. It had a lot of good flavor to it. Tomato, onion, the animal style sauce. It had a lot of good flavor to it.
And the price, can't
That
be.
was the biggest shock. Hear me out. So a burger with fries. They don't just give you a little bit of fries. No, they're giving you fries.
Also got animal style, which is a little extra actually in cost.
It is like a dollar or something extra. So you're talking about animal style burger with fries, with a drink, and a milkshake. Guess how much it costed?
11, 12.
$12. Yeah, $12. And I'm like, you what the? How is that even legal? You know? And it's not like they're cheating us of on the quality. The quality is really good.
Never frozen.
Exactly. But I'm just in a space right now where I want to be better. I want to feel better. You know what I mean? I got the haircut. Like everything's starting to get, you know, heart just turned purple, 360 up for an R comes for a circle. So it's about evolving, and it's about accepting the challenge of being better. And to be able to have the opportunity to go to a church, no matter being late or not, but just be in that space. It doesn't matter about going to church. Find a space that is full of camaraderie, people that are there for the same reason as you, and be able to feel good about being in that space. Whether it's church, whether it's you know um, a book club at a cafe or at the library, studying or something like that. Find a space that you can be there with friends or with new people and share an experience, share a drink, share some coffee or something. Learn from one another. You've been, speak about you. You've been very successful with going to school. Being you're at Berkeley. You've been able to handle the Zoom University with great care. You've helped me out with finding that fuel, finding that confidence, getting here and everything, and staying here. You know, it's just the little things that you can't take for granted. There was a time where there wasn't just it was very recent about, yo, man, I don't know, this is looking a bit risky. And you're asking me like, why do you love being here? What is about California that is something, what is it?
Los Angeles specifically.
Yeah, exactly. What is about Los Angeles that just keeps you here? That you love so much?
It was a
And
good
it's
question, by the way, and you gave a good answer.
yeah,
Which should we say?
and it's everything that you can't put a price on. It's being able to go and look at those mountains. It's being able to go and enjoy the weather. It's being able to go and being in this air, knowing that there's so much diversity in this one community. Is being able to go and if you want, what type of food do you want? What are you in the mood for? It's gonna be there, and it's gonna be by the people who actually makes it. You want Jamaican food? Oh man, some jerk chicken, some jerk shrimp. Oh, there's a Jamaican spot down the street, downtown. Oh, for sure. It's everything that you cannot put a price on. That I love about the city. Die-hard Lakers fans, die-hard Dodgers fans. I live down the street. I literally, I literally live in between Staples Center and Dodger Stadium. And to have that energy of camaraderie with Lakers fans, Kings fans, Clippers fans, Dodgers fans. I see so many people wearing Kobe jerseys, 8, 24, Shaq jerseys, Dodgers hats, Dodgers jerseys, and the little shirts. There's so much loyalty here, loyalty to success, loyalty to wanting to be better. I can't leave. I feed off of that. And I flip it and give twice as more, not just for myself, but everyone around me. I love the city. And I want to be part of it that makes the city better. Because there's always room for improvement. There's always room to be better.
It's a great city. Born and raised here. You're right. It does have everything. 20-minute drive from the beach,
Yeah.
10-minute drive from the mountains.
Hmm.
Foods. There
Hiking.
are some right. There are some complaints. I understand. Some people carry themselves with an image of something they're not.
Yeah.
And I think that's natural because people
Every
the complaints people have with Los Angeles are valid at times, but you also have to remember where there's more people, there's gonna be more problems. That's just that's just there's no other way you can spin that around.
gonna have said it better myself.
A lot, I think the population of Los Angeles is close to 20 million. I want to
Yeah.
say, which is that's a country.
Yeah.
It's not like California is the big, that's a very big state. I mean, it's a decent sized state, but that's a lot of people. So, but also that, especially in your case, coming here with no help, no connections, you were able to have relationships with people, and I noticed with you, you're able to see through them a lot easier when you're around a lot of different people you don't know. You understand what they're about, and yeah, tell me how's your experience been with like people in LA because of course, a lot of people in LA aren't from here. They might be moving here as well, but just tell me how it's like when you first got here, meeting a lot of new people. What was your good experiences with people? What was your bad experiences?
When I first got here for the first time, it was okay testing. It was just testing the waters. You have people, with me, going, we both from Granada. When we talked about my time at Granada and me running around and, my notoriety or whatnot, at that time, it wasn't even trying to meet a lot of people, but somehow, with being who I am, being who I was, I met genuine friends and built genuine relationships. With who I was at that time, being able to be accepted in communities that I never even heard about, that I never had any experience with, Armenian community. I love Armenian people. Glendale is a good community of Armenians. I have a lot of Armenian friends, friends that I talk to this day from high school. A lot of Middle Eastern friends, Muslim friends, a lot of people from places that are being, literally destroyed because of a regime, because of a desire to be control of something or someone else's land,
Right.
and more specifically, talking about
I will
Palestine.
say a great part of Los Angeles, as you were going on there, a great part of Los Angeles is since we have the diversity in all these different communities, whenever there's an issue, we'll be the first ones to understand those issues and not only understand but stand with
Un-
others. With the Armenia issue,
mhm.
that was around when you first came.
It
Actually,
was.
when you first came. Um, of course,
Shout
with
out to
issues in our
shout
own
out to
country,
Daniel and David.
yeah,
Shout out to those two. They were on the forefront with it too. There was a lot of Armenian rallies. And we passed one.
yeah. I was there. We were both in the car bumping Drizzy.
We were, and just to see that. It was beautiful. The flags, the tags, the colors, the camaraderie, the togetherness, like to be a part of that, even for a couple seconds just passing through it, you could feel it,
And a
you
lot
know,
of people, it makes you realize like it's a big community.
a
Like when
lot.
we're driving past that, it's like wow, you know.
It's a lot of Armenian people here, and it's just like, wow.
And that's the same with almost any community. Once they all
Yeah.
get out in numbers, you notice like wow, there's a lot of them.
I mean, this isn't that Bay Area, but strength in numbers for real.
And I
For real.
like it because you know a lot of these issues, no one else is gonna hear you if you're not gonna get in numbers. So
Right.
you gotta do what you gotta do.
Right.
I don't mind. Listen, if the street is busy, it's a little busy. If there's a little traffic, I don't mind it.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I can wait 5 minutes as long as the issue that's being supported is good.
Right, exactly. Much love to Armenia, much love to Palestine, if you want to be more specific. They prayer, love, support, on social media, financial support, because at the end of the day, there's kids being affected. There's kids being killed, murdered, you know, and kids don't deserve that. Nobody deserved that. We're talking about infants being starved, you know. They deserve the world. They deserve to be treated better than anything, you know. But thank you for what you were saying. I to answer more of your question about, when I first got here, I mean, I was just 15. I was young, just trying to find my way. I mean, I'm so accustomed with moving, not just moving across the street or moving, but like moving different states, having to learn different cultures and ways of walking, ways of talking, how people go about their day-to-day operations. And I was able to kind of just like grow from it. Like, okay, I see from their perspective. I can see from how they go about it. Maybe I can kind of tweak it and maybe I can adapt to it, in a way that I can be successful for my own. LA was the biggest challenge yet because of how many ways people were talking and walking. I lived in Oklahoma. There's just only one way. Living in Texas, there's a few different ways. But living in Los Angeles specifically, it was like, yo, you need to, ignorance is bliss, but you need to be more educated on these topics. You need to be educated on what's happening. Watch your mouth. You can't be just talking loosely like that. And I didn't really have much problem with that, but just seeing certain interactions like that, it's like, okay, I'm not gonna make that mistake. Glad I didn't have to in order to know better, you know. And now, being back since October and moving down here and being in new fields and whatnot, basically, I just took what I learned from the first time and I was just better. I'm more stronger mentally, physically. I have more of a desire. I have more control of what I want, how I want it. And it just took having to go through some bumps and bruises to know how to go about it smoothly. I know how to, okay, this guy, I can see that he's not reliable. I'm just not gonna talk to him like that. I take not how you look or how you dress into consideration. I take, are you responsible? Are you reliable? Are you trustworthy? You don't
Those,
always have.
that's a big one.
Yeah, trustworthy is a big one. I work at the Y. You got um you got respect, caring, trustworthiness, responsibility, citizenship. You got these pillars that are to make you a better person, a good person, you know. And I basically, since working there, I've been reapplying them and trying to be better. Because if I'm not using them, I can't expect anyone else to use them. I work with kids. I'm supposed to lead by example, you know? And so working with kids and in the field that I work with them, I've actually gotten better with communicating to adults. Excuse me,
I noticed
because
because like we both work with kids, and straight off the bat, like first day that I work with kids is when you realize that they're kids, and the way you talk, certain phrases, or just trying to explain concepts, you realize that they're kids.
Right.
And I actually I like working with kids because it's more of depending on how young they are, it's more of a blank canvas. They don't have prejudices
Mm-hmm.
of certain people, or they don't have like predisposed thoughts or ideas, or a lot of them don't think in like stereotypes. They
Right.
just they're kind of just open.
They're thinking
So,
of
and that's
fun.
why it's so crucial that they have important role models now, because though, especially those first, from when they're born to like when they're like 8 years old, it's
Hmm.
ultimately those years that are gonna shape the rest of your life.
Those seeds get planted like that.
Exactly.
They grow attached to them. And I was making that point of how working with kids has made me communicate or has helped me communicate better with adults. What I mean by that is not tolerating any BS. Like
Facts. It's made me like, because with kids at the beginning, well, once I was saying, when I first started and I realized that they're kids, and I'm not talking adults,
mhm,
because normally with adults I will kind of have some leeway. If there's something I want with an adult, if there's something I want from them or want to see from them, I will kind of be a little lenient and kind of skate around the issue.
right,
But with kids is straightforward. I'm not being disrespectful with them.
right.
I'm not, I'm not being rude, but it's just getting to the point.
Nip it in the bud.
Right.
And exactly with what you're saying, what I was saying earlier, it's like I'm not tolerating that with you. I'm not tolerating that. I'm not going to just walk around it or stall, let some time go by. No, nip that in the bud. Because, one thing I've learned is like, adults are just bigger versions of kids. Like if I can get the progress or the results out of kids, how I see it, in my job, but you can't do the same thing. I don't understand that. And so it's like, what? Oh, another one is respect. The six pillars is respect. Respect me. You're gonna respect me. You're gonna acknowledge who I am. I'm not talking about the kids, but adults in those rooms, you're gonna acknowledge what I bring to the table and my results and what I do. So definitely made me it's definitely helped me communicate with adults better and have that confidence. Like, you can talk, but you ain't gonna talk crazy to me. You know what I mean? If you want something, you know how to ask it properly. So it's great. I'm very grateful for having this job and the experience that I do, and having the leaders that are above me that's helped me be in a position to be successful. And so definitely just trying to get better in that regard, using your job to be better overall. What could you possibly want more? You know. So,
Yeah, we both love, I think, working with kids so far. It's
yeah.
a rewarding experience, especially when you see them benefiting from certain things you're teaching them, or
Hmm.
teaching them the proper ways to behave. Because that's the thing,
Exactly.
like, I mean, when I started, it's it's easy to get mad at them, but
Mhm.
then I realized, like, what am I? It's a kid, first of all.
Right.
They're not malicious. I'm not blaming the parents of some of these kids, but I'm just saying, if they had some better parents,
Yeah.
they could go some places.
Right. Yeah. They can go up a little bit. I was talking to you about a kid that they're no longer going to be with the camp, and I'm like, their parents did such a great job with them. Respect. My kids, they respect me, and I know that they respect me because they say Mr. K, Mr. Khalil. They do things that's like I wasn't even. I never said you can call me. I never said call me by this or that. They raise their hands. Yes, sir. Thank you. Like you meet kids in Cali, it's like, yeah, yeah. Yeah, duh. No matter what age, people. Yeah, no thanks, no, I appreciate it, none of that. It's crazy. But you're definitely right about like planning, putting in their minds, putting those seeds early in their minds so they can already have it and just get better at it, whatever the case may be, you know. But I would like to move on and transition to just what are our plans? What do we want? What are you doing in the upcoming months? We have one more year left at Berkeley. What are you doing? What's going on with that?
Yeah. So along with Khalil, I also live in Los Angeles, and I will be moving to Berkeley because school is opening back up, and it's my first year there, and my first year is going to be my last. So I gotta bring the chip home in my first year.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So,
sir.
yeah, I'm gonna be moving to the Bay for not even necessarily a year, the school year. So that's like 10 months, and right now in the process of looking for housing. And yeah, I still have plans on going to law school in the future. But more importantly, I'm kind of just focusing in on the moment and what I can control. Because if you take all the steps, if you're prepared, if you take all the steps to be prepared every day, when that opportunity comes, you're gonna get it. You've been preparing. So that's what I'm trying to focus on.
You're gonna be ready for the moment. You're gonna be ready to shoot it and make that.
I mean, if you have good habits, exercise, um, just overall discipline, and you're
Exercise,
right,
meditation,
right,
your breathing is a good thing too. Good thing to work on. Food, diet, going off for a walk, reading.
right. The way you communicate with others, showing up to work even before, you know, if you put those habits in place consistently, you're gonna be successful. Basically, what I'm trying to say, you're gonna put yourself in a position to be successful.
Like you
It's
said to me before, before I just started working, you was like the lack of preparation is preparing for failure. Something like that. Do you remember what you told me? That phrase?
failing to prepare is preparing to fail.
Yeah, man. I took that to heart. Like that is some true words right there.
Like, when I first heard that quote, I'm like, some stupid shit. Like one of these words, like the way the way they spin the words. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, it makes sense.
Yeah. It definitely makes more sense when you're in that position. Like I should have I should have remembered. I should have had this. I should have got more of that. It's like it definitely makes more sense. You definitely understand it more when you go through it. But
Right.
it's a step by step process. You
Even
know.
if you're going to fail, because failure is part of life.
Yeah.
Rejection, failure, that's part of life. But just knowing that I did everything I could in my control is
Right.
a lot better than knowing, oh, I wish I could have done this.
Leave no stone unturned. You
Exactly.
know, because like you don't want to live with regret. You don't want to pass with regret. Hey, damn, I should have done this more. I should have made more phone calls to this person or that person or loved one or friend or whatnot. Like do what you can, because it's gonna go a long way. Because there's no way that it couldn't. As long as you believe in yourself and you have that confidence in yourself, and you're doing what you know you're supposed to do, don't worry about everything else. Everything else is gonna happen the way it should. So with that being said, it was great doing business with you again.
It's been a good season opener.
Good
We talked
season
about
opener. We
especially
bite.
it was a blowout. You know,
Yeah, honestly.
we each
Like,
went for like a you went for like a 35, 8-8. I'd say I went for like a 20, 15, 15,
okay.
something like
Yeah, you definitely distributed the ball. You out there rebounding. I appreciate that. I scored, but we still got a job to do. Listen, Happy birthday. You know, we're gonna have a really good birthday celebration. Be here, man.
Both
We bike.
both being 21.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
21, but we're not savages.
I like that.
Yeah.
2021 vision right there. Speaking of 2020 vision, something I do not have. I went to go to the eye exam. I went to Lens Crafters up in Burbank. Shout out to Burbank. I love Burbank. I love Burbank. Town
Is,
Center is
is
beautiful.
it that you can't see or you don't have vision?
I can't see. I have the vision, but I can't see the vision.
That actually makes a lot of sense.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
That's just how it goes, man. Like I can't see. Like I took I'd had the eye exam. You know the little hot air balloon on the house. You know what I mean? Like those means of you know what I mean? Like when you go to an eye exam, they do the little thing if you can see it or not. They did a lot of little tests. They told me that I'm nearsighted, and they said that I'm partially colorblind. You know the little thing where it has like the numbers and all the colors in it. I
that's
was
great because I don't see color either. I'm very
honestly, I've never seen color. Like really, I am very simple. You know, I'm a very black and white person. You know, very simple. Yeah, I won't even see the gray area or anything. You know, but yeah, they did the little booklet with the colors and numbers all around. I shot like 3 for 16.
nearsighted, so that means you can't see far away, right?
Yeah, I can't see far away. So
Is it
like
that you can't see far away, or is that you can't see in a long distance?
that's a good question. You know, complete transparency, it's I can't see from a long distance. You
Okay.
know, I don't think I'm supposed to because I'm so worried about in the moment what's in front of me. I don't think it's necessary to see in the distance. So
Yeah, if anything, that was a flex that you have nearsighted.
yeah,
Uh, Focus on the now.
because everyone else, you know, they're able to see what's far away, but they're not able to prepare for what's coming. Me, I'm doing my job, what's in front of me right now, so I can be prepared for what's coming.
But then there's also people who have 20/20 vision who can see long distance and nearsighted.
Exactly. Now with those people,
Fuck them.
yeah, exactly. They did they just did themselves dirty on that. But um yo dog, if I was you, um I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Gonna get canceled on our what
Yeah,
is the
that's
resurrection?
for the playoffs.
Yeah, we gotta make the playoffs first, you know what I mean? Like goodness, let's not get canceled on the season
Probably like
opener.
28 minutes a game in the regular season, dog. Chill.
Goodness. All right, man. Love doing this with you. More to come. Inshallah, we're gonna do ourselves in for a good time next week. More tune for your head top. So watch how you speak on our name, you know?